Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Service Dog channel. I'm not a lawyer, and here's my fair use statement. I'm going to give you 2 methods that guarantee you'll know if a service dog is fake. But first, I have a question for you. Can you spot a fake service dog just by looking at it? You know, like if it's out of control with barking, jumping, and lunging at people and other dogs, then it's a fake service dog? Well, not necessarily, but wait, don't click away thinking I'm an idiot spreading misinformation. Hear me out because I'll prove what I'm saying. If you still disagree after watching this video, then tell me why in the comments section below, but only after you hear me out. And trust me, I'll know by reading your comment if you actually heard me out or not. My answer is completely in line with the United States government's definition of a service dog, in addition to the fact that government sources acknowledge that service dogs can misbehave and be out of control at times. Stay with me because I'm going to give you the 2 methods for spotting a fake service dog, guaranteed with 100% accuracy. First, let me explain what I said about real service dogs misbehaving or being out of control. The ADA says a service animal is a dog that's trained to perform a task for a person with a disability and that it has to be related to the disability. It's all about tasking for a disability. That's it. They're not defined or qualified by their public behavior, even though they can be removed for their public behavior. Listen, they are most definitely not required to be silent. As a matter of fact, some service dogs are trained to bark to alert their handler of certain events, situations, or medical conditions, not bark incessantly, but enough to alert their handler. They're not required to be non-sniffing dogs. They are not forbidden from sniffing anything. As a matter of fact, if the service dog's task is to detect allergens that could kill the handler, they have to sniff everything. It doesn't mean it's not a service dog because it's sniffing around. They're not required to be dogs who are intensely focused only on their handlers. They are not required to only look at their handlers and nothing else. As a matter of fact, some service dogs are trained to scan the environment, keeping an eye out for the exits, identifying potential hazards, or watching for triggers that would negatively impact their handler's disability. Also, the dog and handler may have been previously attacked by another dog in a store, so it could be on high alert, and there's nothing wrong with that. People need to stop saying a dog that's looking around is a fake service dog or needs more training. They're not required to wear a vest, leash, or harness by law. It can be too hot for dogs in the summer, or the handler may not be able to physically put it on their dog due to arthritis or weakness in the hands. Plus, there are exceptions for wearing leashes and harnesses because sometimes they can interfere with the dog's work. If the handler faints and lands on the leash, the dog could be restricted from getting under the legs of the handler to elevate them. They can be in shopping carts. Okay, I'm not a lawyer, but I did speak to the ADA information line and thoroughly researched this topic. Even though some states pass laws saying service dogs cannot be in shopping carts, they're not required to be on the ground. According to the ADA, they can be in grocery carts, and I can prove it to you on a federal level, which takes precedence over state laws. The ADA says generally, the dog must stay on the floor or the person must carry the dog. And the word generally means in most cases. Most doesn't equal all or always. There are handlers who have exceptions made for them because their service dogs need to be close enough to their faces to smell their breath, but the handlers can't physically carry the dogs because of back problems, weaknesses, old age, etc. This definitely should be a rare occurrence, but we see it every day. See my video about service dogs in grocery carts to learn about the lawsuit that caused the ADA to change their wording from no in the answer to the shopping cart question to generally, which means usually. According to the government, unless they're provoked, service dogs should not engage in disruptive behavior like barking, snarling, or growling, running around, jumping, or lunging at people or other dogs. Note that they call them service dogs even though they engage in these disruptive behaviors because they still meet the definition of a service dog, which is performing a task related to a disability. A person with epilepsy could have a seizure alert dog that has no public access training. It's a service dog that misbehaves. The ADA says that when a service dog is out of control and the handler doesn't take effective action to control it, or if it's not housebroken, that animal may be excluded or kicked out. Notice they call it a service dog even though it's a poorly behaved dog, it's still a service dog. Under control also means that a service dog shouldn't bark repeatedly in a lecture hall, theater, library, or other quiet place. It specifically says in a quiet place. But if a dog barks just once, or because somebody has provoked it, the service dog is not out of control. The ADA still refers to this out of control animal as a service dog. Being out of control doesn't disqualify it from being a service dog because it could still be a dog that's trained to perform a task directly related to its owner's disabilities. So technically, it's a misbehaving service dog, or maybe you could call it a partially trained service dog, because it's task trained for a disability, but not for public access. If it's not publicly presented as a service dog, like it's not labeled as a service dog, or the owner says it's not a service dog, or it's not task trained, then it can't be a fake service dog because the owner has never tried to pass it off as a service dog. It's either a pet or an emotional support animal that someone brought into the store. I completely agree when you see a dog going crazy in the grocery store and riding in a shopping basket, it's probably not a real service dog, but we have no way of knowing for sure until we ask the person the two questions. There's always a tiny chance that it's a misbehaving service dog that really has been trained to do work directly related to the person's disability, but it hasn't been trained to behave in public. See what I mean? Can service dogs misbehave? Absolutely they can. They are not perfect little robots. They have bad days just like we do. But the good news is that there are two ways to determine for sure, 100%, if a service dog is a fake service dog or not, without fail. A fake service dog is a dog that's presented in the public as a service dog, but it's not a service dog. A fake is a thing that's not genuine, a forgery or a sham. Therefore, the definition of a fake service dog is a dog that the owner pretends is a service dog, but it's really not. It's a dog the owner says is task trained for their disability, but it's really not. If the owner never pretends it's a service dog, then it can't possibly be a fake one. Agreed? It would simply be a dog that they illegally brought into the store, either a pet or an emotional support animal. Here is method 1 to figure out if a dog is a fake service dog. I can 100% guarantee you that a dog really is fake if the dog is wearing a service dog vest, meaning it is being presented to the public as a service dog, and the handler is asked, "Is that a service dog required because of a disability?" And he replies, "No," then it's a fake service dog, guaranteed. If they don't answer the question, you can't know for sure. Method 2. If a dog is wearing a service dog vest, meaning it is being presented to the public as a service dog, and the handler is asked what work or task has the dog been trained to perform, and they say the dog doesn't do a task, it's a fake service dog for sure. Again, if they don't answer the question, you can't know for sure. These are the only two situations you can accurately decide that it's a 100% fake service dog. The only ways. Yes, I strongly suspect misbehaving dogs of being pets illegally brought into the store, and I'm guilty of judging them as fake service dogs without knowing all the facts. But if they've been trained to perform a task related to their owner's disability, they're not fake. They're just not trained for public access and are misbehaving or disruptive service dogs. Okay, now you can give me your objections to my reasoning. What are your thoughts? Subscribe to the Service Dog channel.